So a lot going on this month. So a few things I wanted to tell you about and just get them up on videos. It's easier for me to send a video to my e-newsletter list as well, or take little snippets from that. So first thing that I'm thinking about, actually no, let's start with last week where I ran the free 90-minute webinar. Now, it said 90 minutes. We actually did 2 hours because the group were very chatty, had lots to share, and we wanted to try out the processes that we're looking at for the 6-month program. So had really fantastic results from that, of course. So this is from someone who took part. They said, thank you both. That was absolutely amazing, which is really lovely and fabuloso. Had someone else saying they felt such a release as being a part of the program. Someone else has said they felt really lovely and zened out. There was another that came in saying, oh, if you could bottle this, I would buy it. There was a post, I don't know if I've got it to hand here. There was someone else who was on the live webinar. I posted something on my page the other day. See if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. I attended the MBS, Mind, Body, Spirit online coaching group pilot webinar, and I really loved it. I've already had some improvements and more clarity in the items I worked on during the pilot webinar. So if you're on my page, you can look out for that post. I don't know if you can see it there. There we go. The one with the butterfly. But it's really fantastic because that was the intention. It's all very well doing a course, a webinar, training, whatever. But this one is really about results, about how do you actually move forwards, how do you get things done. So it's going to be a mixture of the accountability and support. There will be the clearing processes, there'll be the focus, there'll be the discipline, there'll be the focus on results. So that's really kind of what we're wanting to do. So that was the 90-minute webinar that we ran last week, where I did a taster of the things that we're going to be including in the 6-month program. If you missed it, there is a replay recording. If you're watching this in real time, if you go to my Facebook page, the post that I shared about an hour ago has a link for the free replay. All you need to do is add your name and an email address and you can get access to that. So I definitely say go forth and do it. Now, in terms of that program, it's all about having a breakthrough, having better focus, follow through, follow up, accountability, support. The breakthrough is one of the things that we will be doing, both in terms of the coaching interventions. We did a bit of that on the free webinar, also with the, I suppose I could call them therapeutic interventions. So this time round, we did some Huna and Access Consciousness as a good starting point, because that's always a favorite for people. There's also the spiritual and soul and emotional side of that. So Gina Batt, who I'm co-running the 6-month program with, she took everyone through a soul change contract, for example. So there's always going to be the aspect of having the breakthrough. That's an important part of it. The putting things into action is major. So that's what it's going to be. And this is where the idea of maybe piloting another aspect of the program, particularly I'm going to do this, I want to do this with the MBS program, but I also want to do an element of this with the new Fearless Public Speaking program. So the idea that I had this week in terms of really putting things into action was, this is just a very quick mock-up, but this was running I started off going, I run a 3-day challenge. Then I went, well, maybe it'll be 5 days. And now it's like, well, there's enough for 7 days. We don't want to go too overboard because it's just a free taster. But what I want to do is run a little mini challenge where, so day 1, for example, it'll be about setting the focus, doing the planning, looking at what it is you wanted to achieve, or at least get started while you were on the program, particularly if it's only 3 days. That'll be enough to, well, you could finish something in 3 days, of course, but it's that whole thing about what do we need to do to get started and planning that and mapping it out. Then it's the whole thing about looking at what might stop, block, get in your way. Then it's about the implementation piece and a couple of other things that I want to put in as well. So if you would like to do the little mini taster, be that 3 days, 5 days, or maybe the 7 days, because the thing that I mapped out last night in terms of what I might include in each segment actually fits quite nicely into 7 days. One of those days is a celebration day for each other, for example, couple of implementation days as well. may do a live webinar with regards to that. So I'm just looking at the messages coming in, having a quick look to see if it's something to do with this. One of them is having maybe a live webinar element to that as well. So if you would be interested in taking part in the little mini taster, mostly it will be online for the way I'll do it with this. What I will probably do is create a little LMS where I'll put the instructions in for each day. If there are questions that you're going to be considering, then most certainly will be when you're setting the focus, looking at your outcomes, getting clarity on the one thing you want to focus on. I will put the questions into the LMS. All you need to do then is log in, see what it is for today, take that particular action. And when we get to the implementation day, that's where you'll be feeding back. So if you would like to take part in that, the way I'm going to design it is ideally, it would take between 5 and 15 minutes per day, thereabouts. If I did do a live session, that will probably be about 30 minutes, I'm thinking, in terms of what I've got planned at the moment. So if you would like to take part, if you're watching this on Facebook, then put a yes into the comments, or you can send a yes, just put yes in a direct message. If you and I are not connected in Facebook, the likelihood I won't see your direct message because they go into the other mailbox and you don't actually get notified about those, and I don't always get around to looking at it. So just put a yes in the comments to make it easier. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, then actually, you could still put a yes in the comments. Just put yes, YES, in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube. So that would work as well. And if I've got enough people who are interested, and I need about probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 just to give me a nice mix of feedback. So if I've got a small group that are interested, I will run this. So watch this space, keep an eye out if you are interested, let me know, and we'll take it from there. So I think that'll be quite fun. And also for those of you who are doing the Fearless Public Speaking program, I'm now at the stage where I'm looking at all of the components of that, mapping it out, deciding what's in and what's out. I put a series of surveys together and I put some of the possible topics and said, pick the topics you'd most like me to cover. Looked at the results and people yeah, all of the above, thanks very much. So that will be a very long program if I included everything. So I'm just looking at what's essential, what's in, what's out, what might be a bonus session, what might actually lend itself just to being in a checklist, a fact sheet, a handout, something like that. So if you signed up for that program, what I'm also going to do is record a few of the modules live. So if you wanted to be there live so that you can ask questions, etc., then get back to me ASAP. I have emailed you all. I did that last week, but if you haven't gotten back to me yet, let me know, because we're now in the phase of mapping that program out and getting everything together. And also for those of you who have signed up for the 6-month MBS coaching program, I have also sent you the intake form. One of the questions I'm asking is if you have anything you want to bring to the table for the brainstorming session. So if you can get back to me about that as well. I'm going to then look and see the order and sequence, and depending on what you're asking about, we'll see how many we can fit in and if there's a synergy between them, for example. But get back to me about the brainstorming piece as well. That would be marvelous. So if you want to do some planning, do some goal setting, I don't call it goal setting, but we'll talk about that in the MBS program. But I say that because that's what people recognize. But if you wanted to do some of that, either over a consistent period of 6 months, then join us for the 6-month MBS program. If you want to do a little taster, let me know if you would be up for doing the mini challenge. And for those of you doing the Fearless Public Speaking program, let me know. I've sent you out some dates, so let me know which of those would suit for joining me for recording a few of the first live webinar sessions, which then get uploaded as the replay session. So that's it, really. Would love to have you join me for one or all of those. If you missed the amazing, let me get it right, the absolutely amazing live webinar last week, what I will do is I'll put the link for the free webinar under this video in the comments. I will also add the link if you want to join us for the 6-month MBS program. There isn't a link yet for the accountability program because it does not exist. So just put a yes in the comments or DM me if you would like to take part in that. And you can always find information. There'll be a link also for the, and actually for those of you on YouTube, for example, as well, or if you're seeing a snippet of this somewhere, if you go to my main website, which is just going along there on the ticker tape, transformationstm.com. That's TRANCE, F for Freddie, so FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark.com, so transformationstm.com. If you go to the main website, top right, there's a red button that says What's New. Click on the What's New button. A panel will slide out, and then you will see whatever the latest thing is. So there's a link there for the webinar replay for the free 2-hour webinar replay. There is a link there for the new 6-month MBS coaching program that's taking place online. If you go to the MBS coaching program booking page, I put a Q&A there about when it starts, how you can take part, some of the common things that people are asking. So I'm not going to go into that now. That's on the booking page, and you'll find all of that information on my main website. And then if I decide to go ahead with the challenge, I will add the link there where you can book as well. Right, I think that's it. I shall leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you know anyone who could benefit from any of these programs, or they might want to listen to the webinar, then please feel free to share this link with them. That will be amazing. I hope you're all fit and healthy and well. Marilyn Devonish from transformationstm.com. Over and out.